Rene Descartes. So I'll be talking about certainty of self and God, particularly his foundation of how he thinks, his worldview. So what Descartes is after is a thing called absolute epistemological certainty. So he's after not only factual certainty, but in other words, he's after a truth that is impossible to be wrong. So he's after a truth that has a 0% possibility of being wrong. So it's absolute and certain knowledge. It is impossible for that truth to be wrong. That is his standard for everything that he writes about. And he gets to that standard of truth by doubting everything. He doubts his senses because he says that, how do you know that your senses are most accurate? Then once the senses produce information that goes to your mind, how do you know that your mind processes the information the right way? He doubts the reality that he's existing by imagining, hey, what if there is a deceiver out there that's deceiving me and I'm in a fake world, thinking that I'm in a real world? And so he gets narrower and narrower, and he wants to get to that absolute certain truth. That is the foundation that he's after, so that on that foundation he can build his worldview. And his worldview will be founded on 100% truth that is proven, that is cannot be wrong. So he's after that. And so that's his measuring rod that he uses to approach every single idea and every single thing that he writes about. But by doing so, by doubting, he turns kind of into a skeptic, because you can't trust anything, absolutely anything. You can't trust your chair, because how do you know it'll hold you? You don't know. Or you can't get out of your bed. Why? Because, hey, the floor may be, water and big sharks. And you can't trust, that no one's gonna hit you by a car. And so you're doubting everything. And in that view, there is kind of like no truth. And so that's what he does. Now, the problem with his standard is that standard is beyond human capacity to think. It's such a high standard. Like, for example, the existence of God. It's primarily a belief. You can provide evidence for that idea, but you cannot prove the existence of God absolutely and certainly 100%. You can't do that. You can't, because that standard is 100% correctness, but you can't prove that. And so that standard is beyond human capacities. It is on a level of God, because only God can essentially prove absolute certainty. So that's how Descartes goes about. That's his measuring rod. So he's after absolute and certain knowledge. And another side note, he claims to be a Christian, and from him, the idea of, hey, I'm doubting, therefore I'm thinking, therefore I can exist. One who does not exist, he cannot think, he cannot doubt, because he doesn't exist. But because I am doubting, or in other words, because I am thinking, I must be a true object. I must be real, and I must exist. So that's Descartes for you.